It's time now for the Jock and the Doc, your Bay Area sports report on the Northern California Sports and Entertainment Network. Here are your hosts, Glenn and Dave.
Morning, everybody, and welcome to the Jock and the Doc Morning Show. The Doc still on assignment. We hope to have him back real soon, maybe next week. We're not quite sure. He is covering National Hockey League preseason action in Winnipeg, and this weekend he will be covering the Canadian Football League as well, as their playoffs are right around the corner. Hey, speaking of playoffs, are you watching any Major League Baseball past few days, past week? You know, the Giants were red hot, and all of a sudden the Giants are back to their old ways last night in Arizona. Before we jump into it, I want to welcome our new sponsor, BetterCreditCards.com, to the show. In the market for a new credit card, you can review and compare their featured credit cards. Find the best credit card for you and apply easily and securely online at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com. All right, Major League Baseball last night with the postseason less than a week away. There are some interesting races, and the scores are affecting them. Let's take a look at the scoreboard from last night in Major League Baseball right out of the gate this morning. Not only did you have the Giants in action last night, you had a lot of the teams that are in those races going down to the wire. And here's how the schedule is, or the scoreboard is looking early today. I'm just pulling it up here. I lost it. Sorry. All right. Yesterday in Major League Baseball, you know that the San Francisco Giants dropped an 8-2 score to the Arizona Diamondbacks. It was a must-win, really, for Arizona entering that game. You had Mason Black on the hill. Eric and I over on Giant Sports Talk Live had predicted, what we got. A 500 ball club and not quite a 500 pitcher, but he pitched only 2 2/3 innings, gave up 5 hits and 4 runs. Giants found themselves behind the 8 ball early in the game, couldn't catch up. Arizona countered with Zach Gallen and Gallen. He's pitched well this year. Record of 14-6 this year. So Arizona with that must-win almost situation. And so in a moment, we'll take a look at the wild card races. Now, the season's over for the Giants, basically. A few more games. We got 3 against the St. Louis Cardinals beginning tomorrow. And, just riding it out, see what happens. We're expecting news. Everybody calling for Farhan Zaidi's job. Will he be back? Will he not be back? A lot of rumblings starting to trickle out over social media, X, also among the media that there could be a move. Will it come soon? Will it come later? Will there be no move at all? Depends on what ownership thinks of this past year. And in fact, I think it's the past 6 years. There's a guy on a lifetime contract or something. You're just not winning, not competitive. And don't tell me 500 baseball is competitive. No way. All right, scoreboard from yesterday. Seattle over Houston by a score of 8-1. That game important for the Mariners as they, at least try to stay in the hunt. They find themselves outside looking in. There was an early game yesterday. Saw the Detroit Tigers continue their winning ways. They have won again. They beat Tampa Bay by a score of 7-1. Detroit, a force to be reckoned with the playoffs a week away. You had Baltimore over the Yankees, 9-7. Other key games, Minnesota. Now, Minnesota's another team on the outside, peeking in. They were an 8-3 winner over the Florida Marlins, who've been played a little spoiler against teams lately. But that was a huge win for the Minnesota Twins yesterday. Minnesota, nice outing from their starting pitcher, Simeon Woods Richardson, yesterday. He's 5-5, needed a big outing from him, and they got one in the 8-3 win. A game that a lot of people were interested in around Major League Baseball. Not just San Francisco Giants fans, got kind of there's no love affair for Dodgers baseball in the Bay Area, is there? And we were kind of following last night's score. The Dodgers beat the San Diego Padres 4-3. So they gain a game back. Just 2 days ago, the Padres were a winner over the Dodgers, turned a triple play to end the game. And last night, a 4-3 Dodger victory. And 3 games. I don't think the Padres, with only 4 official days left in the Major League Baseball season, can catch up. It's going to take absolute miracle, a little bit of luck. The Dodgers are going to Colorado. You think Colorado's just going to become world beaters, beat up on the Dodgers? I don't think so. So not only does San Diego have to go into Arizona and win, now you've got the Dodgers. They're going into Colorado, so that one's all but over. Dodgers are going to win the American League Western Division. And as far as the Major League Baseball standings go, it is unbelievable. You have got some interesting races going down to the wire. Let's check, first of all, the wild card in the American League. You have got Baltimore, then Detroit and Kansas City are tied for the final playoff spot. That's right, tied with only a few days left. And then mentioned Minnesota's got to win. They got to keep winning. Had their win over Miami yesterday, and Minnesota's 2 games out in that race. So as it stands right now, you're looking at Baltimore, Detroit, and Kansas City making the postseason in that wild card race. Meanwhile, in the National League, San Diego holds down the first wild card position. Then you've got the Mets and Arizona tied. That was a huge win for Arizona last night. And then Atlanta just a game out. Now, the Mets in Atlanta were rained out yesterday. And that means Major League Baseball has jumped in and said there will be a doubleheader on Monday between the Mets and Atlanta. Could decide some playoff positioning. So Monday could be a huge day this Major League Baseball season. If you're just jumping into the program, welcome in. Jock the Doc Morning Show. It's Glenn flying solo this morning. The Doc on assignment covering the Canadian Football League. And tonight he will be covering the National Hockey League preseason with a game in Winnipeg. Major League Baseball standings out of the way. That's how the wild card races look. We got some big games coming up again in Major League Baseball today. How's it shaping up? How does it look? Well, you have got the Milwaukee Brewers in action. They are taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. That game is just underway. Early start for people in the Bay Area. So Milwaukee and Pittsburgh, they are scoreless in the first inning. Really nothing to talk about there. It's kind of winding out the season. No real ramifications of the game. Kansas City and Washington, they're warming up for the start of their game. And here's another good one. Tampa Bay at Detroit. That game gets underway at 1:10. You've got Alexander versus Olsen in that game. Detroit, one of the hottest teams in Major League Baseball, and they are in a tie with Kansas City as far as the wild card. Now, who is going to win the home field advantage between Kansas City and Detroit? I would say Detroit, but you never know. Kansas City up against Washington. I would say it favors Kansas City, but who knows? Other key games in Major League Baseball today. You've got that Miami game against Minnesota. Palazzo versus Festa. That is an evening game. Might catch a little bit of that one. I'll also be tuned in to the San Diego Padres and the LA Dodgers in the late start. You've got Musgrove and Bueller. Bueller. He's got only 1 win this year. A lot of people in our various platforms, be it right here on the Northern California Sports and Entertainment Network, on this show, Carter's Corner in the afternoon. They're talking about it last night in our pre-game show. And, of course, over on Giants Sports Talk Live with Eric Romo and myself, LA Dodger fans, they're quite confident. They're excited about the postseason. Fans around the league questioning LA Dodger pitching, and is it enough to carry them this postseason? So the San Diego Padres play the LA Dodgers, final meeting between the two clubs this year. And that one is the late start. As mentioned off the top of the show, the Mets and the Atlanta Braves will play a doubleheader. There's a hurricane moving in on Florida and the eastern seaboard, so it has forced the washout of not only yesterday's game, but today's matchup in Atlanta. Can't wait for Monday. If those games are of the utmost importance, you're looking at some very, very key games. Heading into the weekend, I just want to show you, you've got San Diego taking on Arizona, Diamondbacks fighting for a playoff spot. You've got, Dodgers up against Colorado, should be quite easy. Now, Kansas City and Atlanta, two teams, okay, one respectively in the American League and then over in the National League, fighting for, playoffs. Playoffs? Kansas City, Atlanta, fighting for playoffs, and the two go head-to-head. Who's going to win that one tomorrow night? There's so much excitement heading into Major League Baseball's final weekend. And, of course, St. Louis Cardinals, after a day off for the Giants, will head over to Oracle Park to play the Giants' final of 3, including this weekend's fan appreciation. I think that the Giants should be very appreciative of the Giants fans this year, those who showed up, because a 500 baseball club, once again, it is certainly not what the doctor ordered. So there you have it. Major League Baseball schedule for today. Milwaukee, Pittsburgh, no score in the first inning. Kansas City is taking on Washington in just a few minutes' time. I'm excited for baseball. I'm going to go catch some baseball of my own. All right, other sports to talk about this morning. NBA. Derrick Rose, longtime New York Knick. He's hanging him up. He retires after 15 seasons. Had a pretty good career, Derrick Rose. WNBA season continued last night with some playoff action. And did you catch any of it? I watched I watched both games, actually. I couldn't take my eyeballs off the Indiana Fever Connecticut game. Connecticut, they sweep. 87-81 was the final score as we welcome in Morkatna today. Hey, Morkatna, I know you're excited about baseball. Connecticut Sun over the Indiana Fever, 87-81 in the WNBA playoffs last night. A lot of hatred this year. Speaking for myself, I follow the league quite closely. Hatred against, Caitlin Clark? The Caitlin Clark fans. Caitlin Clark fans being blamed for racism and just vitriol. Well, the WNBA, they have come out today, and they have made a statement. Just pull it up for you here. And the WNBA says, we are a competitive league with some of the most elite athletes in the world. While we welcome a growing fan base, the WNBA will not tolerate racist, derogatory, or threatening comments made about players, teams, or anyone affiliated with the league. League security is actively monitoring threat-related activity and will work directly with teams and arenas to take appropriate measures, to include involving law enforcement as is necessary. Now, I gotta ask, is this because apparently a fan was thrown out of the game in Connecticut last night? Apparently this fan had some vitriol to throw, the magical C word, in the direction of Caitlin Clark. But hey, WNBA, you know what? Step up. Step up. We're talking about a season that has included a lot of threatening comments made at Caitlin Clark, derogatory comments about her fans, the racism running rampant in this league. And, there were a couple of reports throughout Twitter, the X universe, Facebook, and other platforms. And in fact, the New York Post, if you get a chance to read the article in the New York Post today, there are even players quoted that they don't even want Caitlin Clark or her fans in the league. Are you kidding me? Your meal ticket? A rising tide lifts all boats. You mean you're flying private planes? You're going to make more money, and they can't handle it. I don't get it. I've played men's sports throughout the league of hockey. I have broadcast almost 20 years in the Quebec League, as well as the AHL, the number one farm system for the National Hockey League. And you know what? A lot of things were said. Guys brushed it off, laughed it off. No, it's just these women, so petty. And now that the season is over for Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, you watch. But 80% of the fan base is just walked out the door. And for some of them, they say, maybe I won't be back. I know I'm looking forward to next year, as Morkatna is. Morkatna says, looking forward to the WNBA in the Bay Area. Excited for the Valkyrie. Cool name, cool logo. And they are in the Bay too. Let's go! Their season ticket base. They sold out season tickets already, just like that. They were sold out in no time at all. I was lucky I get in and get my season seats in time. So looking forward to that. And you know what? I mentioned it on Giant Sports Talk Live a few weeks ago. You're going to get nights when that arena is sold out. The Giants are playing up the street, so the Giants better take a long, hard look at the product they put on the field next year. One other game in the NBA playoffs or WNBA playoffs last night, Minnesota. They beat Phoenix 101-88. Could be Diana Taurasi's final game in the league. She had a lot to say as well about Caitlin Clark this year. A lot of just the vitriol was unbelievable among the players, a lot of the fans. I don't know. It's just so disappointing. Good product. Love the ball. Love the pace of the ball. But you know what? It's taken this ugly direction. And, you know, that's the world we live in now with social media. People on other networks, people on the social media, they say things about me. I laugh. Actually, the more they talk about me, the more I like it. And good, bad, or indifferent. But when you've got these women who are just pouting and spiteful all the time, it just, I mean, for the betterment of the league, just cut the crap, will you? What do you guys think? Anybody else want to chime in on the WNBA? Are you surprised? Or is it just a basketball frenzy? Is it a WNBA frenzy? Maybe a little both, where the new team, the Valkyrie, they sell out the franchise first season, and they don't even have a player yet. There's no expansion draft. There's no players in the roster. They don't have a roster, but they have sold out their first season. Looking forward to next year. So Minnesota advances. Connecticut advance as the WNBA playoffs continued last night. If I can take a look quickly at the National Hockey League, the San Jose Sharks, they'll wrap up a back-to-back home-and-home series with the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Whatever you want to call them. They got that old television. Remember the movie? Mighty Ducks of Anaheim? They got that old logo back, and they've gone to a predominantly orange and white jersey this year. So it's going to be kind of cool for young kids jumping on the bandwagon, following that team in Anaheim. You've got the Sharks in Anaheim. Sharks wrapping up their preseason before you know it. Opening night, October the 4th. Can't wait for the start of the National Hockey League season. And every morning and every evening on the pregame show, we'll be talking about hockey. And that is near and dear to my heart again, having broadcast in the American League and the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League for almost 20 years. I kind of miss it at times. Don't miss the travel, living in hotels, on the buses, you know, some of the bus rides in the minor leagues. I feel for these minor league baseball players who get a sniff up in the majors, and then they're told they're going back. I had bus rides as long as 27 hours throughout the Quebec Major Junior League. Same with the AHL, bussing from Canada all over the eastern U.S., places like Hershey, Syracuse, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton. Oh, geez, don't miss that. So that's the NHL tonight. Boston Rangers, Buffalo at Ottawa, Islanders, Philadelphia. Oh, the Canadian battle in the preseason tonight. Montreal is at Toronto. Big crowd for that one. And San Jose, as mentioned, your Sharks taking on the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. Coming up when we start the NHL season, you can join me daily for Shark Bites, a review of the play of the San Jose Sharks. And believe you me, can't get any worse than we saw last season. If I could get back before we wrap it up to Major League Baseball once again for a moment. It's a big day today, kind of somewhat of a somber day. You have got the Oakland Athletics and the Texas Rangers. That one is a, let's see, 12:37 start. A lot of people calling in sick today. Was there an influenza or something? The East Bay? A lot of people missing work today. Sellout expected. The Coliseum, the final Major League Baseball game. Thank you, John Fisher. Thank you very much. It's the Oakland A's. For all intent and purposes, don't even have a home. They're heading to play in Sacramento, tiny stadium next year. You've got Kumar Rocker for Texas. JT Ginn will start the final Athletics game in Oakland. There were reports on Giant Sports Talk Live last night. Some people said they saw a video of fans. They're already trying to steal their memorabilia, running out of the stadium with a seat and security chasing them across the ramp over to the BART station, the Oakland Coliseum stop. So I can imagine what that was like. It's going to be crazy there today. It's a pick'em game. They say Texas, Oakland, 50-50 chance. Either club could win that game. But you know what? No matter who wins, the loser, Major League Baseball and the fans of the Oakland Athletics. John Fisher had the audacity to come out and have a letter to the fans a few days ago. The guy should just disappear. Remember when Art Modell pulled out his club at Baltimore, moved to Indianapolis in the National Football League? That guy went into hiding. And here you got John Fisher. He's almost taunting it in the faces of the Oakland A fans. Oh, sorry. Couldn't pull it all together. But in a way, I also blame the fans. You know what? Where were you for the past, I don't know how many years? I've been to quite a few games. I went to one game. As a matter of fact, today's competition, the Texas Rangers and the Oakland A's. I went to the game in 2018. There were 4,900 people in that massive Coliseum on a Monday night. So anybody who says, oh, my God, the Giants, they only have 20,000 on a Monday night, maybe less, a lot of empty seats. Yeah, I've been to a few in Oakland myself over in the East Bay, taking the BART over there. 4,900 fans? Come on. Don't deserve a Major League Baseball team if you support them like that. Fans unhappy with ownership unhappy with the fans. Ownership unhappy with Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball unhappy with ownership. It's just it had to come to an end, and it comes to an end this afternoon. I'll be watching that one. 12:37 for our viewers in the Bay Area. You've got the Texas Rangers and the Oakland A's as we bid adios, farewell, adieu to the Oakland A's. We'll talk more about that coming up in our pregame tonight. You won't want to miss that. Probably get some feedback from Oakland. It's called Game Night Live. You can join us for that tonight at 5 o'clock when we review the early action, the game in Oakland, as well as take a look at what's going on tonight in Major League Baseball and around the world of sports. Today's show brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Proud new sponsor. We appreciate their donation to the channel and their sponsorship. BetterCreditCards.com. Are you in the market for a new credit card? Everybody always, taking a credit card here and a credit. Don't run up your credit. I don't want to diss our sponsor, but be careful with that credit. You can review and compare their featured credit cards online today. Find the best credit card for you and apply easily. And you can apply securely online. It's right there. BetterCreditCards.com. Proud sponsor of the show, proud sponsor of various shows, including Game Night Live, and proud sponsor of our sister channel and our programming, Giants Sports Talk Live. It returns with Eric Romo and myself tonight at 8 o'clock. That about does it. We're getting ready for an off day. Kind of, relax. Sit back, enjoy the other sports. Maybe you want to enjoy that Oakland A game and get ready for the closing weekend. We close it out, and then that's when the fun begins in two fashions. First of all, Major League Baseball postseason gets underway next week, and I am thrilled about that. And then we find out what's the future. What's the direction of the San Francisco Giants? Farhan Zaidi, are we going to be waving goodbye? Is he going to have some other job? Move him to another capacity within the organization? A lot of people say they should just cut bait with the guy. 6 years, average product. Fans aren't buying into it anymore. And quite frankly, everybody's convinced there's going to be a change in the general manager position. Knowing this organization, who the heck knows? Ownership's got to step up, make a decision quick. I hope it's very quick. You know what? Don't waste any time. Sunday, Monday, get it done. If you're going to do it, get it done. I don't want this lingering on and on and on and on. And then the naysayers can be like, oh, you didn't make a change. You're not making a change. There'll just be so much chatter. And social media will be a buzz. Cardinals in town to play your Giants this weekend. Looking forward to our final weekend of baseball together. Cheering on the Giants, although the season's over. The Giants are 79-80 entering tomorrow night's game with Miles Mikolas, 9-11 for the visiting Cardinals. Landon Roop, he gets the start, 1-1, 270. Not a bad ERA, but that'll close out your final Friday night game this season at Oracle Park. Enjoy your sports activities today. We're looking forward to tonight's show, Game Night Live. Join me for that at 5 p.m. Don't forget, Carter's Corner is back today at 3 o'clock. Carter has a lot of great takes, insight, his thoughts, even though he's picking Arizona to win the pennant. Yeah, good kid, good show. Check him out, Carter's Corner. It returns today at 3. See you at 5 p.m. for Game Night Live. And again, thank you to our proud sponsor of the show, BetterCreditCards.com. I wish you all a very good day.
You've been watching the Northern California Sports and Entertainment Network, a Northern Lights Entertainment broadcasting station.